welcome to a very special bonus episode of the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. And like I said, this is a very special bonus episode of Party of One to celebrate the show's 6th anniversary. That is 6 full years. That is so much time. And also because this game is on Kickstarter right now, we wanted to get the episode out while it was still on Kickstarter to make sure that you checked it out while the Kickstarter is still going. Scheduling is funny. I am joined by Jeffrey Hayes for a game of Haunted Hill Academy, an intimate, coming-of-age, supernatural horror game for 2 players. Haunted Hill Academy is a game about students exploring a mysterious, private, almost certainly haunted school with a forbidden wing and trying to crack the secrets of this mysterious school while focusing on their studies, while growing as students and finding their place in their social circles. It is a game about identities. It is a game about secrets. It is a game about exploration. It is quite simply a game that I truly loved playing, and I really, really want you to go and check it out. It is currently on Kickstarter for about, as of the time of this episode drop, about 4 more days. And it's got a little bit of ways to go before it funds, but I really want you to go and back the Kickstarter, help make it happen, because this game is really special and cool, and I loved playing it. You can find more information about Haunted Hill Academy in the show notes. Go to the Kickstarter, back it, fund it, make it happen, get your copy. This game rips, and I want you to have it. You can also check out Haunted Hill Academy on Twitter at Haunted Hill ACAD, or Jeffrey on Twitter at JeffreyJeffRar. Now, I don't have anything else to plug. I don't have any housekeeping notes. So with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down with Jeffrey Hayes. Jeffrey, thanks so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you so much for having me. It's nothing short of a pleasure.
I am so excited to be playing today's game. Why don't you take a moment to let the lovely listeners home know about what we are playing this week, as well as anything else you've got going on you want them to know about.
Awesome. Yeah, we are playing Haunted Hill Academy. It is a game that basically asks the question, what if we took all those tropes from works like Betrayal at the House on the Hill or Cabin in the Woods and put them into an East Coast boarding school? What happens when you take every horror trope you know and combine it with coming-of-age stories?
Oh, that is a hell of a pitch, and I could not be more excited.
Thank you.
I don't know if you, Jeffrey, know how many hours I've lost to Betrayal at House on the Hill, so I'm very excited today.
Oh my gosh, yay. It is one of my favorite games. You can probably see on my Zoom profile pic, it is behind me on my wall. It is also on my fridge, and I have a copy to play. So
love it. I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited. Okay, talk us through the premise of the game. I know that we're going to be reading kind of an intro, some intro text. Talk us through how you want us to dive into those, and we'll kind of get going.
Yeah, awesome. Let me get that up here.
Do you want to go back and forth on individual lines? Does that feel like the best way to do it?
That is exactly what I would like to do. Yes, please.
Cool. Well, then I will go ahead and kick us off. Welcome to Haunted Hill Academy. An enormous, sprawling manor sits upon a cliffside, overlooking the ocean and a small seaside town below.
Once, it was the private residence of a wealthy widow, known to the locals for her eccentricities. Now, it is one of the most prestigious boarding schools on the East Coast.
The school has a strict code of conduct. Obey it and graduate with honors, and you're set for life. It is the best education anyone could hope for.
However, there's so many unanswered questions about the school.
Why is an entire third of the school off limits to students?
What exactly is the legacy of the students who came before?
Is it true that there's a secret curriculum that only some students get to learn?
Is it true that this school is... Oh, is it stupid to ask this? Is it true that this school is magical?
Your experiences here will shape you into who you become for the rest of your life. And there is so much to experience in the school. There are so many people here. People who can influence you for the better. If you can trust them.
They say getting into this school is getting into the school of your dreams. Oh, but what does that mean for the students plagued by nightmares?
Oh, I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
Yay, I'm excited that you're excited. So yes, we are going to be creating a character who attends this prestigious boarding school. It attracts a wide variety of types. You get your legacy kids who, there's parents came here. They have lots of expectations. They're the Ivy League types. But then you also get the kids who are like, this school is called Haunted Hill Academy. Everyone knows what that means, right? Like, this is weird. It's quirky. It's odd. I want to go here. So it attracts all of that. And the one other thing I want to make sure we're clear on before we jump in, we have our dormitories on campus. We have our academic wing, which has everything in the school that makes it a school. And then we have our forbidden wing, a big archway with 2 metal stanchions in front, a velvet rope between them, and a little sign hanging down, swinging there that just says, "Forbidden Wing, please do not enter." So that's just something for the folks at home to be aware of.
Just something to keep in their mind.
Let's create you a character, sir.
Let's do it.
All right. So let's start with our aspects. We are playing a fate-based game, which means we have aspect short, descriptive phrases that will power certain things in play. In Haunted Hill Academy, you have 4 aspects. You have your core belief, that is your guiding principle, your moral compass, the way you make sense of the world. You have why Haunted Hill, why you chose this school out of any other for high school. You have your greatest desire. This is something between like a goal and a wish. It can be short-term or long-term. My favorite so far has been, I want to take Stacey Kevinson to prom.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. But also I've had, I want to make the world a little bit better every day, and I want to become the most feared dark sorcerer the world has ever known.
No,
so
I love it. I love these a lot. I love every single one of these. I'm really excited.
Yay. And then our final aspect that we get to define is our plaguing question. This is your chance to telegraph to me the kind of supernatural horror you want to see in this game. So I've had things like, what if I'm the bad guy? Who else can see her? Which was a fun thing to define. What is that shadow out of the corner of my eye? What does my reflection never look quite right? All sorts of things we can play with. So, off the top of your head, where are you immediately drawn for your aspect? Which aspect do you want to do first?
I've got a lot of different ideas that have been bouncing around in my head. But now, like, hearing you describe everything, there's a desire, and I don't really know. And maybe this is kind of exciting to me to kind of play to find out. But I know what I want my desire to be.
Great. What do you want it to be?
I want to win the Battle of the Ska Bands.
Oh my god, how dare you speak directly to my soul? That is so rude.
I am a rude boy, so I understand this.
I need to tell you, I've been playing this game for a while now. I have been living in the coming-of-age horror stuff, and this is the first time someone has really gotten me right where I live. And just how dare you?
I'm good. I'm glad. You know what? If it wasn't me speaking from the heart, it might not have the same impact. But yeah, I really specifically want. I don't know what that means for the rest of the character. I've got to work that out because, like, I had ideas. And I'm just going to go with the ideas that I had, and I'm going to see what the character looks like. For, like, with the things that kind of pop into, like, the responses that pop into my head, and I'm going to see who this character is once I put these things all on the board. That feels like how I want to build out this character. So why Haunted Hill? Why Haunted Hill? And I'm going to write... something weird is happening, and I'm going to crack it.
Can we get that a little more laser focused?
Yes. Let me think about it for a second.
Yeah, what flavor of weird is happening?
Some spooky stuff is happening, and I'm going to crack it. This place is like the phrase that jumps out to me. The one that you had thrown out was that there are students that look at this place and go, "This place is called Haunted Hill Academy," and like that speaks a lot to me. And the aspect, some spooky stuff is happening, and I'm going to crack it, feels very compelling to me. I like that idea of a student that is here specifically, like, that kind of I guess like, like horror, that kind of horror protagonist is very compelling to me. That kind of horror protagonist that thinks they know what is going on and is like determined to figure that out, even if it's not what they think at all. Like that is very, very compelling to me.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. It's a great reason to go to a school, is to get to the bottom of some spooky stuff.
There's something up here. Something's up here, and I gotta know. Like, I gotta know.
Perfection.
Plaguing,
all right, so we have 2 aspects left. Where are we drawing next?
A core belief and a plaguing question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is an interesting, juicy question that I'm going to throw out here.
Oh, okay.
Why is everything around me so damn easy?
Ooh.
Why is everything around me so damn easy?
Oh, I like this.
I think that's an interesting, really interesting question. It also like pairs so nicely around. If something spooky is happening, that feeling of like the care of like a person starting to ask the question like, why did I get into this school, this super prestigious school? I don't picture myself, and a character starting to come in. I don't picture myself as like an academic. I kind of picture myself as a would-be rock star, a little bit of a Shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, why did I get into this prestigious school? Like, I'm here to investigate this. I shouldn't have gotten in so easily. Like that idea of like something weird is happening and things are happening too easily around me is that is very creepy to me. That like that sense of synchronicity of like, why is everything falling into place?
Yes, that is delicious. There's so much to play with there. Big question, does ska music come easily to you?
I kind of think yes.
Okay.
I think that is a great question, and that really does like inform my core belief. My core belief. I'm here to put on the concert of the century. That delusion of rock stardom is very compelling to me.
Yeah, if it's even delusional, right?
Yeah, and also that idea of like, I also love there's something really interesting to me. There's the very kind of classic coming of age teen movie trope of the sort of washout musician, and the implication is always that musician is kind of an untalented dweeb. Like it's always that they have more confidence than they have talent. Mm-hmm. And with the other questions, the picture of this sort of like oddball musician that is talented and is able to put on a show and like that does have, and like maybe I am a little popular and like I do have a little bit of like the shows that I put on are raucous affairs and they seem to only be getting better. But also like I'm also splitting my time between putting on these shows and also figuring out what the hell is going on, and it's all just there's this artificial feeling of ease to all of it that is starting to pick at my brain.
Am I wrong to say that I'm picking up a little Ferris Bueller vibe from your character?
A little bit. Now that you've put it out there, a little bit. Like I'm getting
like
a little
nerdy but popular, and life just seems to come easily to him. And
I almost love so here's how I'm picturing this. This character has now really clearly popped into my head. Thank you for pointing out turning to Ferris Bueller. I am if the other. I don't like the sort of like what like theories of them all, but like there's the theory that the other kid has imagined Ferris Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
What if that what's the other character's name from Ferris Bueller? If I'm referencing them, I should know their name. It's important.
We should look it up really quick.
Cameron from
yes.
Ferris Bueller. If Cameron was Ferris Bueller, where there's that energy that like Cameron kind of feels like he's not cool.
Yeah.
And there's that kind of like downtrodden sort of sense of him kind of being the nagging presence of like, this is a bad idea, like we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be stealing this car. If he's in the Ferris Bueller role and like is putting on the concerts and things and the whole time is just like this seems like a bad idea. Why is this like, why am I in this parade? This seems reckless. That is the character that I'm coming in with now. Now this character has popped into, has clicked into focus for me.
Yeah, I love that. Like, life comes easily to you, but you're like aware of it in this way of like, this shouldn't be happening. Yeah, this is great. Okay, I think that brings us perfectly into our next step, which is identities. We have some identities to put some points into. Identities work fairly similarly to like labels and masks. And they are your classic 80s teen movie archetypes. We've got cadet, that's your sir, yes, sir type, last person you would try to buy weed from. Your jock needs no introduction.
Yep.
Legacy, old money, connections, etc. And then nerd, outsider, rebel. And then star is not necessarily someone who spends a lot of time on stage, though they definitely could. This is someone who's in the spotlight no matter what they're doing.
So how do I assign these out?
So you have 6 points to spend. You can put no more than 4 points in any one identity.
Okay. I'm gonna put 2 points into star.
That feels good.
And also 2 points into nerd.
Also feels good.
I am a ska performer.
Yes. You know exactly who you are.
Yeah. And that puts me at 4, so I've got 2 more points. I like 1 point into rebel more than outsider. And I'm going to put 1 point into jock.
Ooh, interesting. I didn't see that coming.
I'm picturing a little bit of the picture that I get is a little bit of if Freaks and Geeks had gone on for another season and they had continued to run with that subplot of James Franco falling in with the geeks. That sense of like, he's a little bit of the cool guy. He's a little bit of the jock, but like he's kind of, he's shifted into being a little bit more of an oddball nerd. Like he's kind of found a space, and that's kind of where I picture this character as like somebody that like, and I think it almost ties into that ease, right? Like I maybe never like lettered, or I never was like a star. I was probably a bench warmer, but I probably made a team at some point, like a second string on the basketball team. Like I probably wasn't anything of note, but like I that idea of like of that character who kind of like falls into whatever kind of social circle he seems to be in at that moment.
Awesome. Okay. And I see that you've named your character.
Yes, I am Chester CJ Jackson.
Awesome.
Chester CJ, CJ, he, his pronouns. I think he changed his, I think he insists that his last name has 2 X's, but nobody else acknowledges this. But most people just know. I think also very few people know his last name is Jackson, period. And then if they find it out, he tells them that it's spelled with 2 X's.
Excellent. The only other thing I want to point out on your character sheet is you will notice there is no space for hit points. There's no space for stress or consequences. There is no amount of damage you can take in this game that will drop you without your consent. You tell me if you want your character to black out or even die. I will never decide that for you.
Okay.
So if you go, it makes a lot of sense for my character to black out here, etc., that is entirely on you.
Cool.
However, there is something on par with character death that I want you to be very aware of, which is your academy standing.
Yes.
You are currently at a C. This is not just your grades in school. This represents your entire progress in the academy. How much the teachers like you, how much you follow school rules, and of course your actual academic progress. Should this ever hit F, you will receive notice of expulsion, and you have 24 hours to plead your case or else be expelled from the school forever and lose your character's story in this game. So expulsion is on par with character death.
Love it. Love it.
All right. So we talked about the possibility of starting your character off in the Forbidden Wing and we kind of discover how he got there together. Is that still interesting to you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. All right. I would like to do this by going back and forth. We'll each ask a total of 3 questions, one at a time.
So 3 questions, each to a total of 6 questions, or one question, and then...
Yes, one question until we've hit 6 questions.
Okay, got it. 6 questions total. Got it. Perfect.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So I'll start us off. What is the scariest thing in this room?
The scariest thing in this room is... It is a statue under a blanket that definitely just moved and no longer has the shape of a person. Like, it was human shaped when I walked in. Like, it looked like it was a statue of a person that just had like a tarp thrown over it. And it has now moved. And it no longer, and there's something about it no longer like has the humanoid shape. Either it has grown an extra limb, or it has just like moved in such a way that seems like a human couldn't move that way. I mean, a statue shouldn't move that way regardless, as it is a statue, but there's something about it that has like visibly shifted away from the shape that you would expect to see a statue in.
I love this. I'm noticing how vague you're being, and I'm wondering if that is because you want to leave room for us to define, or if because your character cannot quite put his finger on what's wrong.
I think it's... I was going for the former, but the latter also feels very cool.
Okay, let's go with that.
Cool. I want to ask you, what did I have to do to get in here?
This is fun. What did you have to do to get in here? You had to put an innocent kid who did nothing wrong right in trouble in your place in order to get here.
Love that.
All right, my question for you. Why can't you leave the Forbidden Wing yet? What is the thing you must do before you can leave?
I don't have proof. This is the first time I've gotten into the Forbidden Wing, and I can't leave without something that I can carry out of here that proves that there is something horrifying going on in here. I don't have a hard piece of proof. I'm going to ask you, where am I supposed to be right now?
Oh, fun. Oh, so many good answers. Since you've gifted me this, I will create this conflict in the character. I think you're supposed to be on stage right now. I think you have a performance right now that you're missing to be here.
And that's definitely the kid I put in trouble, was the person that is organizing this this concert, and I was one of the performers. And they're at this exact moment, like, completely trying to cover for the fact that I'm not here.
Oh, yeah. The event organizer. Oh, no. I mean, I'm going to make you answer this for me then. Why tonight? Of all nights, why did it have to be tonight?
Why tonight? Oh yeah, let's lean hard on the so damn easy. Every one of my teachers mentioned going out of town tonight.
Oh.
Every one of my teachers had said some variation of, I need this assignment by this day because I'm going to be at a conference, or in the casual sort of awkward pre-class discussion, like, oh, I'm going visiting family this weekend. Like, every single teacher has mentioned something about being not here this weekend or being not here tonight. It was too juicy an opportunity to let up, and it definitely feels too easy. But I can't not take it.
Oh, man. Oh, CJ, buddy.
My last question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw in some dramatic irony here.
Let's do it.
What danger haven't I noticed yet?
Yes, thank you. Love this. Oh, what danger have you not noticed yet? I think what I'd like to do at this point is describe the room for you and get you in the space, and then give you the first inkling of the thing you may not have noticed.
Love it. Yeah, go for it.
So this is a room that has no natural light in it. There is no window in this room. There was a light switch in this room, but it didn't appear to do anything when you flicked it. What have you turned to for your light source? Are you just going off of the flashlight on your phone, just the blue screen?
The flashlight on my phone.
Awesome. So when you were looking around, you found a room with tiled floors, wood panel walls, various different pedestals in this room. This room seems to be some sort of impromptu gallery, or maybe like a space where art pieces are stored. But there is only one statue apparently in this room, and it is currently covered in a tarp. And you're staring at it, trying to figure out what's wrong with it, why it doesn't look quite human-shaped right now. And in doing so, you didn't notice yourself kind of step onto a pedestal just sort of on your own. You just kind of accidentally stepped onto a pedestal. And you can't help but feel as if someone is watching you. What part of your identity do you feel is like kind of bubbling up in you right now?
I feel you would think it would be the rebellious streak, or the investigator in me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more the sort of nerdy, bookwormy, pop culture junkie.
Mm-hmm.
Or even more like kind of the pop culture junkie, half scientist, sort of like nerdy. I'm going to describe it as like the explainer.
Uh-huh.
Like it feels like I should be the investigator right now, right? Like that urge to figure out what is happening and to ask the questions and to get the proof. But right now, with everything I do, 15 million theories come into my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not investigating. I am taking things around me and fitting them into a story, and then immediately that story changes into something else.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, almost like you're taking the details around you and turning them into fan fiction.
Almost, yeah. It's that sense of I'm not. It's instead of asking a question, finding evidence for the answers that I'm already making in my head, which is like a very narrow distinction, but I think a very important one.
No, yeah, totally. There's a confirmation bias thing happening here. You're trying to make the thing around you fit your narrative.
Yeah.
Well, I think this makes a lot of sense for this character. What is the narrative you're trying to make things fit?
I think in this, and this is maybe the part of me that's bubbling up that feels the most alarming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm explaining things away.
Yeah.
It's that I'm here now. I'm in the Forbidden Wing. I'm in the place that I told myself I was going to get to. I was going to find evidence that something spooky and something supernatural was going on. And now I'm here. And with every step, like I see a shadow on the wall, and I'm like, that's just a tree brushing against a window. Mind you, there's no light, but like I see that shadow, and I'm like, tree on a window, it's fine. I'm just this is a pointless trip, and I'm wasting a perfectly good concert night to be here. Like I'm taking all of those cues, and I'm explaining why they're not the thing that I'm looking for here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is very early on for this, but I think we've already identified a key thing going on with this character and an identity you're struggling with. I think there's an identity here. It may be on this list, it may not be. We may need to add it to our list of identities. I think there's an identity here that represents this part of you that desperately wants to explain this away and be done with this foolish choice to go down here. What identity is that? Either making one up or choosing one from the list.
I think it's Cadet. I think now that I'm here,
Yeah.
I think I think now that I'm in this school and like I'm surrounded by it, there's this voice in my head that's like, are you really gonna throw this away? Are you really gonna throw, like, are you you it's starting to kind of have that doubt of, am I wasting a really good opportunity for my future on this ridiculous chase?
I love this. I think you're experiencing a shift in your identities. Would you like to defend against it?
I think so, yeah.
So what's the antithesis of Cadet for you? What would be the best way to defend against Cadet?
Rebel. Rebel feels like the way to resist against it. Cadet feels like the epitome of... Cadet feels like the epitome of, like, buying into the experience, and Rebel feels like the epitome of pushing against that.
Yes, agree completely. So internally, there's this moment where you are stepping onto this pedestal and you can feel things looking at you, and you feel yourself once again, probably for the who knows what time, like you just keep pushing things back, and you feel that inside yourself, and there's this internal struggle to let yourself wonder what's happening. Give me a Rebel roll. We're going to say difficulty. Let's see. This feels high stakes to me. It does not feel like there's inherent pressure around you, but it does feel inherently difficult. So we're going to say difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3. Okay. So I'm going to roll my 4 fate dice, and I'm going to add 1 for my Rebel
Yes,
label.
Please.
That is a -1 pour, so that is a 0.
Okay. Is this worth spending a fate point on?
If I spend a fate point, I still won't succeed at it, but I won't. But right now, I'm failing by 3 or more, which is the worst possible case.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say it is worth spending a fate point. I am too convinced that something spooky is happening here. Like it's everything in my being. It is why I'm here. It is what I've been after. It is foundational to what has brought me here so far.
Yeah. Now, you may love or hate me for this. We'll find out momentarily, but I do want to remind you that spending a fate point does not necessarily mean you just add 2 to the roll. You could spend it as a reroll of the dice.
Actually, that might be better. I'm trying to decide.
I know. It's literally a gamble, but
I got to do it.
Okay.
That is a 1. So it's still a failure, not a failure by 3.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right. So you do not do what you set out to do. The Cadet in you wins over. Go ahead and shift your identities such that Cadet is at 1 and Rebel is at 0.
All right.
And you find yourself looking around and coming up with reasons for why none of this around you can be as spooky as part of you maybe wants it to be. You are realizing the cold reality that maybe you really did come down here for nothing.
And I think that my priority in that moment shifts then from shifts to what I'm doing here. And my priority is no longer to push forward, and is now maybe to go out, because I mean, I got a concert lined up today. Like I should get there. I'm putting Jerry in a really bad spot, like that. I'm being a crappy friend. I should go make this right and go hit the stage.
Okay. There is only one door in and out of this room, so as you turn back to go and put your hand on that door, tell me honestly, is that exactly what you're thinking? That you have to go back to the concert, be a better friend to Jerry, or does a thought slip in at the last minute? Either is totally fine.
A thought absolutely slips in at the last minute.
Yeah.
there's, even though I've become certain in my belief that there's nothing, I can't be 100%. I know I can't be 100%, and I'm here now, and I only have this one shot to figure something weird out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I'm holding on to that door for a while, maybe for a moment too long.
Yeah. What is that? I love that. What is that doubt in your mind? What's that like screaming thought, whether it's just like an actual phrase or if it's just like an impression or a feeling? Like, give me a sense of where the character is.
Have I really come this far for nothing? I think that's what it is. It is me accepting, kind of telling myself that it's nothing, and then in that moment thinking, well, if it's nothing, then all of this that you've come for is nothing. Like, it's the if then, so it's, I think the phrase that I'm throwing out is, have I come this far for nothing?
Yeah. So you keep your hand on the doorknob for a while, and eventually you open it?
I think I go to open it.
Okay.
I think I give one last long look around with my phone, the flashlight. I think at this point it's no longer the flashlight. I think I've turned off the flashlight and it's the blue screen, but because like having the flashlight on felt a little bit ostentatious, that felt like I was snooping.
Yeah, you're in your realism phase now. We just need the blue screen. That's it.
I just need to be able to move around. Like,
the flashlight is too extra.
I'm not looking for anything. I'm just making sure I don't run into anything.
Yeah, you're not the Hardy Boys. You don't need a flashlight.
Exactly.
So you open this door, and I think the dullness that's creeping into you maybe takes over long enough that you're a few steps into this room before you realize this is not the room that you came in from.
Oh.
You are walking down a creaky hallway. It's narrow. There's a door at the far end, but there's also 3 sets of doors on your left and right. This is not what you remember from before. You see portraits on the walls of very stuffy, aristocratic-looking people, all with disapproving looks on their faces, and a door at the end of the hallway. What would you be feeling now?
Increasingly uncomfortable. No. That was my well, yes, I'm increasingly uncomfortable, incredibly unnerved, goddamn excited.
Yeah, which of your identities is coming up right now?
This is the nerd, right? This is the paranormal zine printer that like is absolutely convinced that Satan himself has founded this academy. Like, this is the validation into that aggressive investigation. This is that vibe of this is that validation of like, I knew it. Something weird just happened.
Yeah. Am I correct in thinking that this is the nerd on overdrive trying to like find full validation for the spooky thing? Like,
yeah. Like that.
Look around and get like your proof or your something here, right?
Yeah, taking in every detail because I'm confident that this is not the way that I came in and there was only the one door. So something has to have happened. So now I'm like, I think I've turned the flashlight back on and I'm looking at the paintings and I'm looking at everything and like this is exactly right. This is nerd on overdrive of me like tearing through every detail of this hallway. And like increasingly, I think at this point I've started to mutter to myself, I knew it. I'm going to text Jerry. I'm going to text Jerry and tell him I'm going to be late.
Okay. What's happening first? Texting Jerry or looking around for some kind of proof or evidence?
Looking around for some kind of proof. I think I say that I'm going to text Jerry, but I think that like that is not my top priority.
Yeah, you're saying that as you're actively not texting Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay. We need a nerd roll here. The difficulty is going to be, let's see, 2 for inherent difficulty, 1 for high stakes, and I think that it's starting to dawn on you as the excitement is like, as you're kind of settling into the excitement, that feeling of being watched has gotten worse. So the pressure is on. So this is difficulty 4.
That is a terror. I'm gonna spend a fate point and re-roll this. That is not a good roll. That is a terrible.
Okay.
So that puts me to a 0 total.
Okay. And when you spent that fate point, which aspect were you spending that on?
I am spending this on. Why is everything so damn easy? Because, like, it's I'm not trying to, because like the creepy thing to me, to CJ, is self-evident in that the hallway has changed. So I think it is CJ trying to find some trick to it. It is CJ being like, they're not just gonna have me wander in some sort of quantum hallway. There's gotta be a trick. There's gotta be, what's the big reveal? What's the monster?
What am I being led to?
Yeah, what's the monster around the corner? What's the nightmare situation?
Yeah.
Now that is a 3. That is a +1. I rolled a +1. I got 2 for nerd, so that is a 3 total.
Okay, a 3 against the 4 difficulty. Would you like to spend your last fate point for a total success?
I am absolutely going to spend that because some spooky stuff is happening and I am going to crack it.
Yes, yes, yes.
I am absolutely taking that success here. This is the moment for me to succeed and then to fail horribly later.
Yes. Let's build this together. Where do you find your, looking around in this hallway, what is this piece of proof that you find? We're going to create it as an aspect with 1 free invoke for you to use.
The thing that jumps out to me is these stuffy old aristocratic portraits. One of their names is identical to my professor.
Okay.
And like to the word, like one of the name, I think it's that I catch the name and then I go up and it is that classic horror movie moment where the painting is 100% the 100% the actress playing my professor, just in old timey clothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like it is unmistakably like I am looking at my teacher in old timey clothes.
Yes. Just from like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Same age. Awesome. What is the name of this professor?
What is an old fashioned, old timey sounding name that has a modern variation?
Oh, a very difficult and fancy question. I like this.
Let's go with Isabella is good. I just looked up Queens of England. Isabella is a good one.
Love Isabella.
Isabella Ansbach is the queen, is the professor. I said the queen's name. Is the professor's name. The professor's name is Isabella Ansbach.
Isabella Ansbach.
But I know her. She insists on going by her first name of Izzy. But here it is listed as Isabella Ansbach.
Cool. And how do we want to phrase this aspect for this proof?
That's a good question.
Here's how I'm picturing this moment.
Yeah.
Because of the vibe I'm getting from your character, I don't see this as someone who would just take a picture on their phone in normal style. I picture you taking a selfie with the portrait.
Yeah.
Maybe even making a face or something. So I almost want to call this the impossible selfie.
I like that. Oh, I love that.
Okay. The impossible selfie, and it has 1 free invoke. You can go ahead and put that under your notes and unlocks.
Done. Okay, I like that.
Awesome.
I like that impossible selfie.
So you have successfully gotten the impossible selfie. The sensation of being watched is continuing, and you feel it from the portraits looking at you disapprovingly because that's how they're painted, but you can't help but shake that someone or something else is looking at you and is... It's like there's an audience around you, but also like someone is right there too. And you have this text to Jerry that you said you were going to send, but there's this feeling of people around you. What do you do?
At this point, at this point, overconfidence has gotten to me, right?
Yeah.
Like at this point, it's not even... I'm not even doing this to the people that I feel around me, right? Like I'm certain it's that vibe. You're on stage enough, you know the vibe when there's an audience, and like I'm getting that vibe so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm doing is not even for that audience. It is just for me.
Yeah.
I am spinning around and like monologuing. I am like,
oh,
the case has been cracked open. Pulitzer Prize winning journalist C.J. Jackson. This is it. The Academy is burning to the ground. I want you to know that this is the day that the story of Haunted Hill Academy was blown wide open, and it was CJ. Just CJ. That's a good pen name. CJ. It was CJ that did it. CJ, actually, I like CJ Jackson. Let's go CJ Jackson. CJ Jackson was the one that did it. And I want everyone here, and I am saying that with this confident, like, point to the sky, to kind of lie to myself that I don't think there's anyone else here.
Yeah.
I want everyone here to know this. I want you to mark it down, write it in your ledger, that tonight was the night that it happened.
Awesome. What are you trying to accomplish by doing this? Because I believe it's something. First of all, also, just beautiful moment. Love it. Here for it.
Thank you.
But what is... Because I think CJ's trying to do something here, and I'm not sure what it is.
I think he's trying to... I think consciously, he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
I think subconsciously, he is trying to... Like, I don't even think he realizes that he is trying to get the audience to react, right? Like, it's in that way, like, I'm thinking back to being on stage and that visual of, like, playing to a, like, it's like he's doing crowd work is the only way to describe it. But I think if you were to ask him that question, he would say, I'm just doing it to myself. Like, I'm entertaining myself here.
Let's put this to the test. I think CJ, in the middle of your monologue, as you are like doing this just for yourself, the door at the end of the hallway cracks open a little bit in the middle of your monologue, interrupting you. And there's a light coming through at the end of that hallway. There's something to investigate that is potentially ruining your monologue. But there's also an opportunity here to either investigate what that is or to let that not bother you and finish this monologue for your invisible audience.
I think, let me ask you, this is a game design question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I compel my aspects?
Yes.
Okay, because
you can do self-compels.
I think this is a self-compel.
Yeah.
I mean, opening up a doorway with a big shining light inside right as I'm starting to deliver this monologue.
Mm-hmm.
That feels too damn easy.
Yeah.
I think that's gotta be like, I am walking straight through that door. I am not even doing it. I'm putting away my phone. Like, there's a light. I don't need it. Like, I think I am in this moment fueled by the desire, not even the desire. I am in this moment fueled by the confidence and the knowledge and the validation that I've got it. I've got my proof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to see where the story goes.
Yeah.
I'm here to follow this to the ends of the mystery.
Cool.
I'm walking straight through that door, and my fists aren't even up. Like, my hands are at my side. I kind of, mid-sentence, I'm like, put it in your and I just start walking. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Like compelled like a moth to the flame. You must go toward that glowing light and see what this is.
I gotta know. I gotta know what's through that door.
Awesome. All right. So go ahead and make sure, yes, you have one fate point again.
Yep.
You are walking toward this golden light. I totally see that. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Charlie Bartlett, where he had those moments where he would constantly be like, my name is Charlie Bartlett, and what's yours? And there'd be like a screaming crowd, and then he'd snap hard back into reality. That's the kind of moment I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You are walking toward this open doorway. This is that moment in the horror movie where you're walking just a little too slow and the music is getting just a little too loud for how little actual music there is. And you push open this door slowly, right? I assume.
Yeah.
You walk into a room that is brightly lit and warm. We're looking at some nice hardwood laminated floors. We're looking at some nice wood paneling. No windows in here. Lots of beautiful portraits. And several people in this room of various states of dress. And when I say that, I mean various time periods of dress. Some people from 100 years ago, some people who clearly are from right now. They're in the middle of boisterous laughing. You walk toward this room. There's a moment when everybody stops and looks at you expectantly. They are staring at you, and you cannot tell for a moment that feels like forever whether or not you are welcome here. What do you do?
I think I wait. I wait that eternity in that moment. I wait it out. I stand there and throw out my hands in sort of a shrug. Well, I'm here.
Awesome. I think this is absolutely going to be a role. What identity do you think you're using?
I think I'm using Star here. I think this is more of that crowd work. This is putting on a show. This is making myself known and making the legend of CJ Jackson known. Like, this is a performance piece, right? Like, this is Han Solo in Return of the Jedi shrugging at the stormtroopers. This is the hey, I'm not flustered here. I've meant to be here this whole time.
Okay.
And I'm telling them and I'm telling myself at the same time.
What is the best possible circumstances? What is success here?
I don't think it's that I'm welcomed. I think it's that something makes itself or some piece of information, some piece of the puzzle, some piece of the mystery makes itself known.
Okay.
In this moment, I am pulling on the thread of this is a very Doctor Who moment.
Yes.
This is a very the Doctor being a clown so that the alien reveals a little bit of its plan. I think that's kind of, well, again, it's one of those things that I don't know if CJ's kind of even fully thinking of it. I think he might just be thinking, they're looking at me. It's time to show off a little bit. But I think he's trying to make himself as loud as possible so that something important gets put in front of him.
Cool. I'm going to then counter you and say that failure here could mean being welcomed.
Oh, that is a spicy meatball. That is
welcome.
Good. Oh, that's real good is the thing. Yeah.
All right. This feels inherently difficult, so we're adding 2 to the difficulty right there. You're also taking 1 for high stakes, and everyone's staring at you, so that's high pressure. So that's the highest we can get for natural difficulty. That's difficulty 5.
Okay, and I'm rolling a +2 here. And I've got a free invoke on the impossible selfie, and I've got a fate point. So let's see how we go here. It's -1. I'm thinking this through.
Yeah.
Because that's a total of +1. If I spend both of those, I tie. And that might be the most interesting option.
Ties are fun in this game.
Ties are fun. Ties are fun. Ties are fun in Fate. I love a good tie. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I am bolstered. I think I am bolstered. I'm going to invoke the impossible selfie by saying, I don't think it literally comes up here.
No, but it's giving you the confidence.
Yeah, I know that I've got one up on whatever sort of magical, spooky thing is happening here. I've got one up on it. I've got the ace in my back pocket. I've got the winning hand. So I can kind of afford to be a little flippant. And the other thing, I'm gonna invoke the other half of the compel that I made earlier, which is to say this is damn easy.
Yeah.
Like, it is something here, however we break down this tie, something has arranged itself to be easy for me.
Yeah.
And that puts us right at 5, which puts us at a tie, which is very, very exciting. I love ties in Fate. They're my favorite.
Yes. So here's your choice that I'm going to give you for how we resolve this. You can choose, because typically it's either you fail but get a boost, or you succeed but at a major cost. So if you fail here, you will be welcomed into the proceedings going on and find yourself in the midst of that situation, but you will get a clue, a hint like you wanted, and we will give that to you in the form of a boost. Or you can succeed in getting like a full-on aspect with a free invoke here related to a clue of some kind. But you will pay a cost. And I think it will actually have something to do with the outside world, outside of this moment, rudely intruding on this.
Those are both really good options. I'm going to take the boost. I'm most interested. I think Jeff as a player and CJ as a character are most interested in following this thread. So I'm going to take that boost, let them be welcomed and see where this rabbit hole leads.
Cool. After you do that shrug of like, well, I'm here, there's a tittering of laughter and then uproarious laughter, and you are brought into this whirlwind of good humor. It's very like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol being visited by the ghost of Christmas Present. Like just a whirl of shapes around you and lights, and now you're in the center of the room somehow, and the door you came in through was closed, but now there's several people around you. One gentleman with a big walrus-like mustache is patting you on the back just a little too hard, laughing uproariously and saying, well, my boy, we've been waiting so long. It's so good to see you. What is the clue you get from them? What thing gets slipped?
I'm actually going to take exactly what you just said.
We've been waiting so long.
We've been waiting so long for you. I think that piece of information, because like on some level, right? Like that kind of answers that is, even if it is just a boost, even if it's just that little bit of a clue, it doesn't definitively say anything. People often do just say that, right? Like that's just a thing people say, but that little bit of a clue is exactly enough of an answer to point me towards my lingering question or my plaguing question, right? Like to give me that little bit of a push to feel like I'm close to the answer of why everything around me is so damn easy.
Yeah.
That phrase, we've been waiting so long for you, is the perfect encapsulation of maybe it's not even a definitive answer, but maybe that's why things are easy. And to somebody with CJ's exact personality and in this exact situation, that maybe is extremely dangerous because it's going to be the thing that keeps him running at this wall.
Yes. Okay. We're near the end of our time, but I want to lean in hard on this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add an aspect to this room.
Just watching that aspect get filled in has filled me with dread, and I love it.
So in this room, you feel this sense of comfort, but just this gnawing sense of something wrong. There's this warmth and familiarity here, and you feel just so loved and accepted, and you feel so comfortable. You feel like you could stay here forever. That's the aspect we've added. People are talking, but you're not really absorbing what they're saying. It's just really comfortable words. People are leading you around the room. You're meeting all sorts of interesting people. A woman in a beautiful floor-length gown, a very mousy-looking man with very eager eyes. And you see each of them are standing near portraits of themselves, and you come to a moment when you're standing before a very large, empty portrait. It's just a background where it's very clear that someone is going to be painted in. And you kind of turn around and you realize now that there's a semicircle of people staring at you eagerly with big smiles as you're in front of this portrait.
I don't love any part of this.
What do you do? What part of your identity is coming up?
I think... Oh, damn. Jeffrey, I think I know the answer. I think I have some things to say.
Lay it on me.
I think you had and you had mentioned. I mean, we're nearing the end of our time, but I think this might be the end, and I think this might be the end for this character.
Oh my God. Okay.
I know, right? I know,
What?
right?
What? Okay.
I know, right? Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
I'm looking at my aspects, and I'm looking at the one aspect I haven't touched yet.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking through this. I think what happens here is I turn around, there's a whole bunch of people staring at me, and I look back at this portrait, and I think the background of it has started to be filled in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like a concert hall stage, right? Like it is the concertina stage from Haunted Hill Academy. Like I recognize it. I've taken lessons in this big Grand Ole Opry style performance hall.
Mm-hmm.
And there, it's from where the curtain would be, looking out at the audience, and there are these sort of faceless shapes, and all of this is kind of getting filled in. Every time I look back, there's a little more. And it's looking out, and it would be behind the person that was on stage. And I look at it, and I look at the people, and I look back, and me is looking at my aspect sheet, and Jeffrey, what's my core belief?
You're here to put on the concert of the century.
I think I turn back, and I look, and everyone is crowding around me. And I feel the weight of my phone in my back pocket, and I see a little more of this portrait filled in. And I pull out my phone, and my shoulders sag a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I can't stop the grin on my face.
Yeah.
I pull out my phone, I open up my text messages, and I finally send that text to Jerry.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, I'm not going to make it. And I put it in my back pocket, and I finally turned back around one last time, and standing in a full tuxedo, holding a conductor's stick, as there are several other shapes all around holding various instruments. Somebody's holding a stand-up bass, because we got to at least roughly indicate that it's a ska concert.
Yeah.
Looking back, like, there's me right there in the painting, holding the conductor stick, leading this entire thing. I'm not a conductor. I've never been a conductor, but, you know, I'm young. I can learn. I've got time. And I turn back, and I smile, and I mutter under my breath, you know, I could stay here forever. There are worse things. I did say I was going to put on the concert of a century. I've probably got time to do that, though. I'm young.
I think we hear the sounds of a ska band and a roaring audience. And we see your character enter into this painting, and we feel that concert. And the next thing we feel is that sensation muffled, like it's 1,000 miles away, as we pull out of the painting to see it as a painting. You frozen in time, possibly forever.
And I think that if I may throw out a closing beat.
Yeah.
I think I want to throw out a cliffhanger because I think it's real good.
Yes.
I think we cut back to the concert happening.
Yeah.
Jerry looks at his phone. Jerry is positively fuming. This motherfucker
Yeah.
is gonna stand me up. And somebody mentions offhandedly. I mean, he is grabbing people. He's like, "Where the hell is why is CJ? How is he just going to stand us up?" And somebody casually mentions, "Oh yeah, he said he was going to go look like he was going to grab something from. I think he said the music hall. I don't know. I thought that was in the forbidden wing, but that's just me." And Jerry, we get a flashback to the two of them together talking about this, and CJ has said, we get a shot of CJ saying to Jerry, "Something spooky's going on. I'm going to be the one to crack it." And Jerry, holding his phone, quietly puts it in his pocket, looks around. The last set is playing. The concert's wrapping up. I think the last band steps off stage, and they go to shake Jerry's hand, to shake it, to thank him for this opportunity, and he is nowhere to be found. And that is, and on that note, that is game.
There we go. I love it.
Crushed it. Oh, that was cool. That was so much fun.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad. Yes, we've told a very interesting story here in just a short time. Thank you so much.
Oh, that ruled. That was fantastic.
Yay.
Well, thank you so much for playing it with me. This was an absolute delight.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was my pleasure to share it with you.
So real quick before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
You can follow all information about this game at Haunted Hill Acad on Twitter. Academy was too long. You can follow me at Jeffrey Jeffrar, but fair warning, that is just where I post pictures of the flowers I buy myself each week because I'm worth it. And if you are interested in playing a game with me, I am a professional GM, and my games are all about transformative experiences. I bring my background as a professional psychologist to the games, and that can be found at criticalgrowthgames.com.
Thank you so much for playing with me. This was an absolute pleasure, and for now I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me, and thanks again to Jeffrey for coming onto the show. That game was so freaking cool, is the thing. I love a mystery story, and I love a good horror story, and it was just all of those things. It was just a perfect storm of cool, evocative storytelling. I could not be happier with that. Now, like I said, Haunted Hill Academy is on Kickstarter for a few more days. I really want to see this game fun. I want my own copy of this game. I want you to go to Kickstarter and back it and make it happen, because this game rips. I'm super excited about it. So yeah, go to the show notes, back the game on Kickstarter, head to Twitter, follow Haunted Hill ACAD and Jeffrey Jeffrar, and then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Head to our merch store at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. Join our Discord at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. If you enjoyed the show, consider leaving us a nice Podchaser review, or telling a friend about the show, giving us some love on social media. You can also support the show financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. And if you're looking for another podcast to enjoy, check out All My Fantasy Children. It is a character creation, storytelling, world-building podcast powered by you. Every week on AMFC, my best friend Aaron Catano Size and I take a listener-submitted prompt. We spin it into an original fantasy character, and we populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. The show is part of the One Shot Podcast Network. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates coming onto the show as a guest or about press coverage of the show, send me an email at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. Now, that's pretty much it for me, so until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.